Hello everyone. We are back on El Computerado. That's French for the greatest computer. I have got so many things cooking right now, you guys. It's ridiculous. I mean, and by cooking I mean like I always have a million things cooking. Today I've got time pressure on 3 of them. I really want to get this model cut up. I have a friend who has a big 3D printer and he couldn't print the thing raw. It has too many tiny little greebly bits. It's one of those things like if it messes up, so I didn't realize this, but because you have like this nozzle, you imagine it's going back and forth and it's laying down the resin, and then if it's doing like a fine little tip of something, tip of a thorn or a root, and it melts a little bit wrong, it can snap off, and then that piece is stuck on the nozzle, and everywhere it goes it's just like wrecking everything like a wrecking ball. Didn't know that. So anyway, I've been trying to simplify, make the pointy bits less pointy. I got rid of all these scraggly, rooty things. I can add those after it's 3D printed back in really easy using traditional methods. So that's... I want to get that to my friend before Friday because he's going on, you know, the holiday is coming up and he's available to do it whilst you know, out of the office. And so if I miss Friday, it's another 2 weeks before I'm back in the office and we're cooking with gas again. So what do I feel like? I lost my ability to see comments. I wonder why. Usually in the live view, I have a little thing on the side that's like comments. And now I don't. Let's check on Twitch. Am I actually live? Okay, I am live and there's chat. It just doesn't show up in OBS for whatever reason. Okay, fine. Let's do our shout outs. Okay, YouTube, Alexander Medicine, subscribe. On Twitch, we got Freaky Deek. On YouTube, CJ Sellers. Also on YouTube, Whisperer Commander, Chris Doug, Bazia Pelagzar, Crumpen and Karthik Rambagata, Fan Guy Man, 7-Packed, which I think that 7 is kind of an I, so it's probably supposed to be Impact. Marcus Solheim, Frank Corker, Alexander Pelosi, Cruiser 97, Eric 1, Nikolai Goundry, Ulysses Gonzalez, Izzy McJitterstein, that's an awesome name, McJitterstein, Gangdao, Great Story, Matt Flanders, You Kids, Zandalari Gnome, Ray Donmez, Alexandra Aparakikako, and Jojo MC, or Jojo Mick. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoy your stay. Let's get some stuff done, shall we? The other thing I need to get done before Friday is I'm trying to get a version of the first novel, all the illustrations in and uploaded. I've got a very special beta reader. I'm really hoping, she promised she would read it on her break, and I want to make sure this would be the first beta reader to see it from scratch with all the illustrations. So I'm really dying to see how that impacts the experience and overall perception of the book. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm making chunks, and then I need to fit them together. So one thing I'm going to do is add a couple little nodules here and there. That's probably enough. Whoops. Okay. And I'm gonna move them up. So the idea is these are gonna make little pegs that will slot into the other section. And that is terrible. Look at that. That is a useless join there. So let's not do those ones. I need to find ones that are more upright. And while I'm here, let me fix this ridiculous tiny little pointing polygon. Sorry, I'm really disturbed by the fact that I can't see chat all of a sudden. I guess I will just see your chat 20 seconds delayed. Just as a quick test, let me drag this over here, put it on my big monitor. Let's see, does this help? Here's chat. Look at that. Chat exists. Just has to be wider. Why does it have to be wider? My screen's not even that wide. What if I move this? Okay. I know most of you come to see me struggle with technical challenges, so I am glad to always be of service. Okay. So I need to activate sculptress mode so I can erode this dumb little point away. These artifacts tend to happen when you use close holes a lot, which I do, because when I cut it up, I need to close the holes. Okay, so what is fairly upright? This area here. They don't need to fit together like super duper well because I'm gonna have to do a lot of sawing and cutting and filling regardless, but I feel like just having these as general guideposts will be helpful. Okay. So I've got that, and it needs to slot into this guy? No. This guy? Nope. This guy. Yes. Okay, so let's turn them transparent and examine the joints. So we can see there's that little peg that I just made. Seems to be socketed in there just fine. These seams, again, these ones in the back don't matter at all because this thing is sitting like embedded in kind of a tablet thing, so it's fine. So I'm not worried about those seams at all, but these seams that are front facing are more of a concern. So let's see what happens if this kind of, nope, that's not what I want to do. Huh, what an odd brush this started me with. Clay buildup, please. Okay, so now I can just kind of organically blend these bits together, and then I'm going to Boolean them so these pieces will cut out the piece that's sitting over it. I feel like that join is sufficient. So now I'm going to add, let's see, we'll go onto the little ear piece here. Nope. Looks like this earpiece might not have. Oh yeah, I haven't cleaned up. I did the fill holes. This is what it looks like when it does a raw fill hole. So you get all these jaggies. You gotta take care of that. So that's where Sculptress mode is very handy. I can just kind of smooth it down and it kills the jaggies. The downside is it also ends up kind of eroding some of the detail on the front facing, but again, with all the filling and sanding I already know I'm going to have to do on the seams, it's not a big deal. That doesn't look healthy. Grind that down. These areas where it's just like crazy polygonal, that's because it's facing away from where anyone could see. Like this is the part you see, you'll never see back there, so there's no reason to put detail there. Unless there's like a non-manifold geometry or something that's gonna screw up the file. So when I was cutting it up, I was trying to strategically help with any potential undercut, like massive undercuts for one, and so there's two simultaneous goals. One is to get it cut up so that because it makes it easier for printing. If you have more pieces, then because it takes so long to do a 3D print, if it screws up, like it's like 90% done and then something goes wrong, often you've lost the whole piece, right? So if I was doing the entire sculpture and it screws up at the end, that's like a big catastrophe. Whereas if it's just the ear and it screws up, well, it's only a couple hours lost, sort of thing. So that's the one thing. And the other thing is so that I have as many options for molding it as possible, because I would love to figure out a way to mold these, mold and cast them. And I would like to change the design as little as possible when doing that. Okay, so I think a good direction to pull my little nubbins out would be this way. So let's switch to our head. Let's put a little nubbin mask there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what did I do? Switching to subtool 5. I did something that Zbrush is not happy with. I don't know what that is. I wonder if, let's see, I think I was holding Control, which I believe is what you hold down to do a mask. But I feel like Shift is smooth, Control is mask, right? I think Alt is select that subtool. Did I just kill it? Alright, well, while it may be getting killed, let's switch to some other stuff I've been working on. I have all these chapter headings I need to get into the book. Here's what I got cooking on the book so far. I've got these chapter headings going. One thing I hate about a lot of, especially in the fantasy genre, especially in like journey type stories, they're always describing directions that they've gone, directions they're going, and they have like one map at the first page of the book, and you're always like flipping back and trying to find that page. And especially on a Kindle, that seems really annoying. So I was just going to put, if there's any significant movement that happens during that chapter, the map is just going right there. And I think I need to put it at the end of the chapter rather than the beginning. It's hard to say, because if it's at the beginning, then it could be spoilers, right? Like, oh, it looks like he makes it to there. Therefore, all the tension is gone from this scene, because I know he gets through it. Well, I mean, come on. The hero's going to live, okay? Sorry, spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm not sure yet how to do that, but yeah, so I've been inserting these here illustrations. This is Moon Gleam. Oh, you can't see her. Let me get this to a size where you guys can see it better. Here. Yes, and I've also been adding these little quote things at the beginning of every chapter. Anyway, yeah, I've been filling this up, and I could not find. Let's see, what did I get? I got to chapter 7, and then I forgot like which illustrations are supposed to go to which chapters. I'm like, do I have to reread all the chapters? And then I remembered. I had it written down in my sketchbook. Much easier to just go to the old list here. Okay, here we go. So let me just double check. Chapter 6 should have been the piglet. Is that? Okay, is 7 the spilled fruit? Yes, 7 is spilled fruit. Oh yeah, I can just click over here. 6, piglet. Okay, so what is 8? 8 is the pearlescent knife. So now I can go into Mr. Photoshop. I can find the knife. Boom. Okay, and I know this is chapter 8. Which is not the same as 6, regardless of what they may have taught you in school. Hey Casual H, how's it going? A couple weeks ago, you suggested Mythcrean's podcast to me to enlighten my D&D campaign. Some super helpful stuff. Hope you're doing well. Awesome. Yes, I am doing well. 8 looks slightly uncentered. Okay, flatten image. Save as and JPEG. Now I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not by saving these as JPEG set to 9, but I do know 9 is almost indistinguishable from, you know, you could do like pretty much no loss of image quality with JPEG nowadays if you go take it all the way to 12. 12? Why is 12 that and not 10? We don't know, because this one goes to 12. But it does significantly reduce the file size, and because there's so many images in the book, I figure it can't hurt. Again, this is my first time doing a self-published book. Who knows? could ruin everything. Okay, and then I select everything up to the, we have an itty bitty number as a placeholder there. Insert pictures, number 8, please. Boom. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's see, I also have to put a space there. Otherwise, when I make this heading 3, so what this does is it makes it so that I can click on every illustration in the outliner here, which will, so I can track these. Which is, I think, going to be super helpful if something goes wrong. Say I have to save them all as a JPEG 12 instead, then I will be able, I can easily go back and find. I don't have to scroll through all the pages all the time. Let's see if Zbrush is alive again or not. Looks like not. Okay. Fortunately, Zbrush is generally very good at saving backups. Unfortunately, it's really bad at naming them, so I almost always have to go into the folder and see what was the latest saved. Okay, let's undo our flatten image. Should probably make it so you guys can see my controls. Huh? Number 9 is our little monkey friend, Snatch Fast. A character that my mother loathes, and every time she gets a chance, she describes it as a stupid monkey. And then when I do my editing pass, I take out all of her insults against the monkey, and then when she does her editing pass again, she adds them back in. And so it's just a never-ending ping pong of fighting over this darn monkey. Okay. The reason why I love this monkey and I made him a little more prominent in the story, it's not a lot prominent, he's a little prominent. I wanted to give the impression early, it serves 3 functions, count them, in the book. So first of all, this monkey is Beaumark's pet, our main character. Our main character spends the first 9 or 10 chapters, growing up. So it's like the childhood, the home, like it's establishing all these things about his where he lives, his culture, where he comes from. There's like a warmth and a comfort there. And so having a cute little pet, I thought was, it just vibes with that really well to me. And this is the second thing it does. I feel like it's setting up some expectations that I'm purposefully subverting later for an emotional gut punch, because a little boy with a pet monkey is going to set up certain, not specific, I don't think it's a specific thing where people are going to say, oh, he's going to have a cute sidekick through this whole story. But I do think that just that seed of that idea is slightly planted. They'll get kind of that Disney vibe or whatever. And then when, spoiler alert, skip forward 10 seconds if you don't want to hear this. When he dies in a horrible flaming explosion, that's part of the cutting off point. Like Beaumark has to leave home. He's leaving behind all his comfort and warmth and so I just felt like that, I don't know. I liked it. It's artistic to me. It might be bad, but I really liked it. Okay, let's see what Zbrush has saved for me. It's impossible to tell. So here's recovered tool, recovered document, and then it also like mixes in recovered things from like months ago, and so I'm never sure Like, I would think it would be the last thing on here, but every time I've tried that, I get fooled. Oh look, there's a go to folder button. Awesome. No, I thought that would take me into that folder in Windows. Darn. Okay, well, I'm going to try clicking this guy and see what happens. What does this give me? What do we got? What did I do on this horn? I smoothed the rough edges, and I was pretty much getting ready to add some little nubbins on this guy to hook in. So I guess I think this is the latest. This is actually what I wanted. Okay, cool. Congrats, me. Okay, now let's see if I can get Zbrush to fit back in my window. Right now it's being really stubborn and doesn't want to move. Okay, there we go. Okay, back in business. Someone bought some of the rights to several of the bands that I was using for background music, so like a ton of my older streams have been getting hit with copyright claims. And now I'm like, should I just get rid of all of the music that I've been using and only use the... I don't know. I'm annoyed. I am annoyed. Why can't they just put a little ad for whatever it is? I guess the answer is because a lot of these bands, there's just no way to buy this music anywhere. Like, it just doesn't exist. It's old stuff that no one's heard of and will never buy again. So, but some company owns the rights to it for whatever reason. Come on, invert. Don't need it to be really big. In fact, it's probably best if it's barely a nub, so I can kind of fit it on from any angle. Okay, so now, how do we do this Boolean? We've got to take, this is where things get obnoxious. First of all, let's save this in an appropriate place. We are skull left. Okay, and I want, let's see, I want the skull to dig away from the ear. So I'm going to move the ear down to below it. I think that's how that works. This is, it says start there, turn on live Boolean. And what that should be doing, so if I do negative, Maybe it needs to go the other way? Doesn't seem right. Let's try moving it up here. Making you negative. Okay. Okay, yeah, so there's the little nubbins that I made. Here's the holes for it to go into. Okay, so if I understand it correctly, if I go to Boolean here, I make Boolean mesh, it's going to generate, it's going to take what's on the screen here and make another tool, another mesh, and it should be this one called umesh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now I go back to, where's my other thing? Why is this called umesh as well? That doesn't make any sense. Is it because I have live Boolean turned on? We'll never know. Okay, well, anyway, so now I append this guy. Okay, and that's at the bottom now. So if I delete this ear, delete, and I feel okay doing that because I just saved it. Now this is the new ear, and it has solo it, and it has our little holes. Excellent. Okay, so that is the overcomplicated, obnoxious process. Let's see, so the other one I needed to do that with was, oh wow, this piece doesn't even have the holes filled yet. Oh, I can show you what that looks like. So yeah, here's what happens. I just selected it, I separated it, and it just left these gaping holes. So under geometry, you can go to modify topology, and then close holes. And boom. So because it just kind of does an average across that gaping surface, I end up with these kind of flaps hanging out, which, you know, ideally it would have a better way to fill those, but it does not. So I just deal with it, and I have to do a little resculpting afterwards. But I can use the sculptress brush to kind of erode them away. If I was doing something really precise, this would not be a good method, because it really wrecks where the two parts come together. As you can see, it's changing the geometry pretty significantly. But since it's just kind of an organic mass of like roots and branches and thorns, I can totally get away with it. And because I've got so many things going on and really need to wrap this project up, I'm all about just getting it done and dirty. Dirty done. Probably be best if I didn't have a bunch of documents in Photoshop open right now. This is going quite slow. Look at that mangled mess. Okay, are we all smoothio, coolio? closer to it. Some of these thorns are still crazy thin, so I've just been going in with the inflate brush. Just puffing them up. Oh, I don't want to use sculptress mode when I do that. Puffing them up. Boop. They don't look nearly as cool, but it'll be very easy to go in and just carve them down after it prints if I'm not happy with them. But I have a feeling that because this, you know, the print can't be massive, probably will not be able to tell the difference. Really like to get rid of that little bridge. I don't know if I can do it with Sculptress by just eroding it or not. But I will certainly try. Yes! I broke it! Successfully broked. Not really happy with this long noodly doodly there, but like whichever side it sticks on, it's gonna be kind of hanging out all noodly doodly. I could just get rid of the whole thing and hand sculpt it in later, but I would probably forget to, so I'm gonna leave it. I mean, it connects up with this piece, and so one thing I could do is cut it off kind of halfway. Probably not necessary. Okay, but something that will be necessary is cleaning up this seam here in the eye socket for sure. That is not so great. So I think I shall do some clay buildup just to add some kind of noise and texture back into that area that got all smoothed out. What's going on back here? Nothing valuable. It's just a deep hole that's going to cause a problem in molding. However, I can easily fill that up with putty. Because if I try to fix that right now, I feel like I'm going to screw up some of this detail. Well, you know what? Can't hurt to try, can it? Always got undo if it screws up something. Certainly, the fewer things I have to remember to do in the cleanup phase, the better. Like if it's just a bunch of stuff that's very obvious that needs to be done, like here's a seam, fill it, that's not a problem. But if it's like, oh, there's this secret little thing you might not notice that's going to trap your mold rubber and then ruin your casts. That's the kind of thing I want to try to take care of. Nip that in the bud, as it were. Oh, yeah, look at that. Here's another little root that's just kind of shoved through that I don't, you literally will never be able to see it. So I should just obliterate that sucker. Obliteration. That was death metal, by the way, in case you were wondering. Okay, none of that is wrecking anything up here. All it's doing is that little area, which is fine. It's all going to be in shadow. And this little awkward pocket back here also does not need to exist. It's like a pointless little I think if I just squash it together like this. The annoying part is if I Sculptress this, it's not going to join those pieces together, but if I do a Dynamesh, it will. And I'm guessing when I do the Boolean, it also will? We'll find out. I guess I could just see if I can just clay build up this whole little dead end way. Again, I think because I'm starting from different angles, it won't. It's going to keep that seam, but it's hard to say. Let's see. Now if I smooth it, oh no, it actually is bridging. Okay, good. Good to know it's possible. So if I just go crazy with my clay buildup brush, eventually it merges it all together. How big is the dragon skull that David made for you? And is it transparent resin? Can you put a light in it, make it glow? White with gray horns. I should post it sometimes. It's maybe 4 inches long, 3 inches tall, I guess. Okay, cool. Pretty cool. I would love to print this piece out like, I don't know, 2 feet by 2 feet would be my ideal. But even 1 foot by 1 foot would be pretty awesome. We'll see what I can get away with on. See, I've got a friend who's got a big printer, but the resolution is bad. Which would require a bunch of cleanup after the fact. And then I've got my high resolution little printer that I would need to print the piece out in a lot of itty bitty pieces and stick them together. And I'm kind of actually feeling like the itty bitty way is the way to go, because even though I'll be pasting a lot more seams together, I don't think I'll have to be surfacing it, which the low resolution printer I would probably be sanding and priming like every square inch of it over and over and over again. I don't have time for that. I got a book to finish. But I also want to capitalize on the recognition of the band Demon Hunter, which if I've got the printout, I can show it at shows and at my conventions, at my booth, etc., and people can be like, hey, I recognize that from the album covers, and I can be like, yeah, I made those, and they'll be like, what, you did? Let me buy your book. I'll be like, okay, here's my book. That'll be $1 million. They'll be like, 1 million? That's a little more than I expected. And I'll be like, you get what you pay for, buddy. Then they'll be like, all right, I'm sold. Here's $1 million. Anyway, that's the plan. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Yeah, I've almost got the illustrations done for Scarred King 1. The biggest hurdle is figuring out how I'm going to do the maps. But hopefully I can have that solved by I'm gonna say February. I'd only need to make 1 or 2 sales. Oh, I know. I would need to make. I'd still need to make about a couple thousand sales at $1 million a book in order to fund the TV series that I need to make. Because I mean, shows like Game of Thrones, those are like $10 million an episode. And my show's gonna be twice as good as Game of Thrones, so probably it's gonna be $20 million an episode. I wonder where these connect. I feel like they don't need to connect. Hey Damon, why are you so tired? Making too much candy? Or because it's like 3 a.m. there? You did it. You made beautiful candy. And Aletha says the nougat is especially pretty. And Damien says it's 11:30 and I just finished packing all I'm sending out. That's awesome. Congrats. Aletha, you won a couple million so you can retire and do a little traveling, huh? Imagine doing like a horse tour of the world would be pretty amazing. Could easily drop a couple million on that. Personally, I'd rather just hike. It's a lot cheaper. Fewer logistics to deal with. You don't have a computer you can look at or anything? You're just gonna sit there staring at the wall until I'm done streaming?
No, I'm thinking through a lot of...
Oh, you're thinking, okay. Aletha says hi.
Hi, Aletha.
And so does Damon.
Hi, Damon.
Okay, stop distracting her. She's trying to think. That's no fun. Aletha says Miss Sheila has to take a leave from her massage job for a while because of health stuff. Stupid health stuff. I agree. Bodies are so obnoxious. I'm ready to be done with them. Very ready for transhumanism. Stick us in a VR, put our brain in a vat, and be done with these stupid bodies. Yeah, I think you'd be able to sign a lot of people up for the old Brain in a Vat VR life. I have no problem leaving the physical world behind.
But we'll start.
Starbucks can just deliver coffee to our brain vats, and they just pour the coffee.
Our
And,
brain fat will be coffee.
yeah. Well, Letha certainly will be. You could probably choose your beverage. I'll do Coke Zero. No, Pepsi Max. That's right. I have to drink Coke Zero at work because they don't have Pepsi at work. Like animals. No, they do. They have, but they only have Diet Pepsi. They don't have Pepsi Max. Yeah, which way is front? This way. Okay. Got an almost pointless hole there, but I don't think that'll cause a problem for mold making. Let's see, this part can be all low res, doesn't matter. Let's see. Whoa, that's what you made, Damon? That's a lot of stuff there.
No, that's amazing. Holy cow.
I feel like with a portfolio like that, Santa has got to hire you soon.
At least to control competition.
Yeah, he might just buy you out. That's not everything, just the stuff you're giving away. Not what I sold or already gave away. Wow. Everything included around 60 pounds of candy. Good lord. Well, it's not healthy. It's probably better than 60 pounds of meth. That's what you could have been cooking all that time. If you wanted to be serious about your career as a chef. Breaking Bad, what's that? What is that? Is that a word? Is that a term that existed before that show? I assume it is. I'd never heard it before. It's a Jewish thing, a reference to when break fast goes wrong after Yom Kippur. Dubious. Very dubious. Alright. Now we should have a little horn tip somewhere. Here we go. Let's see. So here's another place where I can probably cut this in half. I'm gonna try something a little bit different, see if it's faster. I can oh, not like that. I could mask lasso. A bit of it like so. Okay, then I can split mask once. Boom. Okay, I can sort of that. Then I can close holes. Boink. It is fast. I always feel I'm afraid that it rebuilds the whole mesh like it does with the Dynamesh, which can be destructive, but it doesn't seem to. It wouldn't be able to go that fast if it was actually rebuilding the whole mesh. So apparently they have some magic that allows them to just add geometry at the holes. So that's cool. Congrats, Zbrush, you did it. Letha says $430 for VIP to see Jason Momoa at Wizard Worlds. Wizard Worlds is a Harry Potter convention, right? I saw on my convention forum people talking about it, so I assumed that it wouldn't be a thing that I could go to because I thought it was like Harry Potter only. But Jason Momoa is not in Harry Potter, so that's making me think otherwise. Advertising it on Facebook. It's Comic-Con for all kinds of fantasy things. Yeah, you can go there, get a table if you want, etc. It's in Portland, right? Because I am definitely interested in going to as many conventions as possible once I've got a book to hawk. And since I got free room and lodging in Portland, that would be a good place to do it if that was the case.
Doing when though?
I don't know.
Surgery.
It's late February this year. My guess is that it's probably all the tables are probably already booked, but it's worth looking into. I've got one up here in kind of North Seattle in January, but it's a one-day thing. Like you set up in the morning and tear down in the evening. Split mask points, close holes. Aletha, I will dress up as Drogo, and you can have a VIP meeting with me for half of that. No way, Aletha. I'm a big deal now. You can't have a free VIP with me.
He's charging me to sit here.
Yeah, Heather is paying me $430 right now just to sit on the couch with me. I'm unhappy with how convoluted it is inside of this root thing. This is not going to mold well. Oh, but this is definitely a case where I can just pack it with clay after it's printed before I do the mold. Yeah, I don't need to knock myself out. Yeah, I went to PAX dressed as Drogo a couple years ago. We ran into another, like a whole group of cosplayers who were all doing just a variety of Game of Thrones characters. And so I saw Doppelganger Drogo. He was a lot more swarthy than I, so I felt shamed. I used like 6 tanning towels to try to be not super pale, and I still paled in comparison with that guy. Okay, so now going back to the next one down. Is it this guy? Yeah. Do I have nubs? I don't have nubs yet. nubs. Okay. And then I move them up to, I think, under this one. I start with this one, I subtract this one, turn off solo, turn off transparency, turn off these guys that I don't care about. Okay, and I just got my little negative impression of the nubbins in there. And now I make Boolean. This is good practice for when I do my prints for my characters. There's also the Rose City Comic Con in September, but I haven't been to that one. I think it's similar though, general fantasy sci-fi stuff. Is there something in the program that lines up with nubs and indents? Basically, it's like if you took one piece of clay and like Sculpey and you baked it and then you press it into unbaked, that's kind of the process that I'm doing here. Okay, so now I append. You mesh this guy. Boop. Now that should be at the bottom. And I can delete this original one. Okay, and as always, double check this one. Make sure it does have the appropriate boops, and it does. Got all the boops. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna name these appropriately after I've done the U-mesh, so I can keep track of them. Rename. Okay. Not Lorne. Horn. Left. Tip. Boom. And you also have your nubbins. So you are ear left. Let's see, you've got your nubbins. Although it doesn't have jaw nubbins. Do I need to do another version of this? Oh yeah, I do. Okay. Let's take solo off. Where's my jaw? Here's my jaw. Lisa says, Mom found paleo pancake mix that is really good. It's not no carb, but it's lower than regular, gluten-free, and has more protein in it. But I add an extra egg to the batter. Yeah, there's making more and more of that kind of stuff. I got some bread flour and made some paleo bread relatively recently. That was pretty awesome. I would really love some paleo chocolate chip cookies. I wonder if that exists. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Okay. Oh, okay. This guy has nubs. This guy doesn't have the nubs cut in. Okay. So I need to make you the start. Set you to negative, or does it go the other way around? It goes the other way around. Okay. So You are the start, and you are the subtract. Nope, that's not right either. What is going on? Oh, I have solo turned on. I think that's the problem. Okay, now there's the skull, and there are the holes. Okay, good, good. I need to get rid of all this other stuff that I don't want included. Like you and you. What's going on here? Oh, that's where I added that lumpy bump. Let's see. It's a good way to get rid of that. I could add to the jaw. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Which part of the jaw is cutting into it? Okay, let's turn off live boolean. Oh man, this is rough. Okay, so I need to have live boolean on to see what I need to make bigger, and it is that this outside part of the jaw. Which I guess is here? We'll find out. Let's see, if I turn, let's see. Turn this guy on, set him to transparent. Is that gonna show me what I need? Maybe. I mean, all of this is gonna be covered with roots anyway. So if it's got a weird blob on it, it's not a big deal. Jay says, Melissa got some cookies that are paleo or something. The one I tried was pretty good. I'll have to ask her what they were again. But was it chocolate chip? That's the important part. Okay, now live boolean is on. You are negativing it. It's still got that crease. Where is that even showing through? It's showing through there. Well, I'm just gonna try generating this and then see if I close holes will fix that. We'll see. Make mesh. Okay, it's gonna take a little while to do that. I'll make the next chapter heading. Ceremonial cape.
Hi, Lana and Byron's rat died.
Pickle died?
Yeah.
No. He was getting
fine.
better.
Yeah, She was like, this was just an hour before.
Mm.
She's like, they had him out and she was playing with him and put the boys back in their cages. And she stooped down, I think to say goodnight or whatever. And Pickle ran right up to her into the in front of the cage and just laid down. Let's see. He rushed to the door and laid down right in front of her, and his body language immediately told them that there was something wrong. After 10 to 15 minutes, he started convulsing and soon after stopped breathing while they were in the car.
So sad.
The vet examined and said that his lungs had collapsed.
No.
Several other organs had failed or were in the process of failing as well. They don't know exactly why, but it was likely connected to his previous health condition, which started improving about 3 weeks ago. But the vet believes that Pickle's quality of life and his comfort had continued to improve over the last 3 weeks, so he got to have a bit of his normal life back before his body caught up to him. Super sad.
Always sad when pets die. That's the one nice thing about being allergic to everything.
I know.
They don't
we
have many
to
pets
do
dying.
that.
Come on, seal up. You darn thing. It needs to be bigger. Wait, are you gonna stick to having pets anyway? Don't you know they're gonna die? Same reason I don't have kids. Oh wait. It's weird. I was totally able to close a gap with this technique earlier. But in some places it just doesn't work. It will not put these, will not weld these together. Why? This part looks pretty welded, but when I smooth it, nope, opens back up. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna have a hole there. I can fill it with clay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right, Aletha. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, because I am starving. So that's a good place to call it for the day. Not a very exciting live stream, but maybe someone will find value in it if they happen to need to cut up stuff in Zbrush. They can look at the way I did it and then find the real good way to do it, and then comment below and tell me the real way to do it. Okay, save as. This is skull left. Okay, you. Okay, now it should all have different. They're still okay. So hopefully, let's see. I just saved it, so I'm safe. I'm going to make my polygroups auto group. Now, in theory, this should make each of the parts a different group, which is important because I'm going to need to... what are you doing? Okay, yes, all one color, all one color, all one color. Okay, good. Oh, but that one isn't. Why are you not all one color? I guess I can just group visible. Boom. Okay. Now you are all one color. Right, they all need to be only one color, but different colors than the other ones. That's what's important. Okay. Because I have to merge these all down. Merge down. Okay. Merge down. Merge down. Okay, so I should still be able to click on any particular one and have that still be selected. Great. Okay, it's War 09 Boolean skull left. Now I can load 9 for print, no roots. Okay, turn off that. Now pinned. Hopefully I can find it. This guy. Boom. Okay, if I look at this guy, yep, that is in fact the right guy, so now I can delete this and this. Okay. This guy could still use some more cutting up. I could still cut off his ear, I think, because this is all one. Yeah, it's all one polygroup. Yeah, so I could split the skull, cut off the ear. So I'll do that another time. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you have an excellent rest of your week and a wonderful holly jolly Christmas. I may or may not stream on Sunday. We'll see. I usually do. There's usually no reason not to, but I want to be flexible just in case some great opportunity for family fun comes up. Yeah, so have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.